the thing is, your maximum heart rate is genetic. You can't change it. You're either someone who revs high or not. And it's not an indication of how fit you are. The resting heart rate is. So the lower the resting heart rate, the fitter you are. The maximum heart rate, you're not going to change. And that will also come down a little bit as you get older as well. You'll lose typically, around a beat per minute per year. Once you're sort of beyond the age of 20, it starts to come down a little bit. Not always the case. Mine's still actually very high just because of the way I've trained. It doesn't, if you keep training the right way, it doesn't drop anywhere near as much, but it does still drop a bit. So if you took you at so for example, I'm just looking, 178 beats per minute is your maximum heart rate that you've measured. My maximum heart rate is more like 199. My anaerobic threshold, so that's the maximum amount of power I can output without having to slow down, is at about 185, 186 beats per minute. So if I was at my anaerobic threshold where I could just keep this up all day, if you were trying to match my heart rate, you'd be well over your maximum heart rate. It'd be like me being at 199. So if we had the heart rate monitors up and they're saying, you're not working as hard, it's like, no, you at 178 would be working flat out and I would be still coasting. But it wouldn't mean I'm any fitter. It's just that's genetically where my levels are. So one of the ways in my online programs, how I determine where someone's anaerobic threshold is, it's a real simple test. It's just a Cooper run. So it's run as far as you can in 12 minutes, record the distance that you traveled, but also what your average heart rate was over that whole 12 minutes. And you're trying to cover as much distance as you can, as far as you absolutely can in that. Whatever your average heart rate is for that 12 minutes overall is about your anaerobic threshold. And that will be the point. If you're working at that rate, that's the maximum amount you could push in a fight without having to slow down. Anytime you push above that, you're on a bit of borrowed time and you're going to have to pare your energy levels back a little bit to recharge. Otherwise, you're going to gas out. So that's then down to the kind of intelligence you've got for managing your own energy and knowing where you are on that scale. And am I working above my anaerobic threshold heart rate? In which case I know I'm going to have to do a bit of circling around the ring and buying myself a bit of time, let him come find me a bit while I recharge. Or am I kind of just relentlessly unloading at my anaerobic threshold? And I know I'm actually pushing him beyond his. So he's trying to match me and gassing himself out trying to do it. So what we want to do with your training is increase the amount of power you can produce at your anaerobic threshold. So that heart rate doesn't change too much, but the amount of work you can do at that heart rate goes up. That's the way you want to look at it. And that's the way I just wanted to sort of talk about maximum heart rate as well. So don't be concerned that your heart rate isn't as high as everyone else as a maximum. It's more about where is that average heart rate during a 12-minute maximum effort, like on a Cooper run. And are you working at that, above that, or below that? And if you're working at it, it's like moderate. You could keep that up all day. It's hard work, but it's fine. I'm good with this. Below it is like, I'm really taking it easy. And then above it is like, right, okay, I'm either pushing hard to finish them or I'm pushing hard for a burst and then being intelligent, backing off enough to my anaerobic threshold or a little bit below to allow me to recharge that cycle again so I can do it again. And you're sort of judiciously applying that effort or backing off again, depending on how you feel you are compared to your opponent. So if you feel like you can just bury them with work now because they're struggling and you can afford to go over your anaerobic threshold for a bit, then you can do it. If you feel like they're matching me and I'm still pushing above my anaerobic threshold, that's where you're like, oh, I'm going to gas myself out now. I've got to do something different with my strategy to make this work.
Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share with someone else it could help too. Please give the podcast a review or comment below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, you can visit heatrick.com for more Muay Thai performance podcasts, videos, articles, and guides. Catch you next time.